What's a good word, everyone? Tiger727 back with another video. Hey, the last thing I needed was another project, but I decided to start another one anyway. It's probably going to take some time, just like they all do. It's a marathon, not a sprint, I guess. But this one will probably take me a good few years. Some of these cards are kind of pricey, but I've decided to do the 1991 Topps Desert Shield, Operation Desert Shield team set. Forget exactly how many cards are in the team set, but I think it's around 26 or closer to 30, somewhere in there. So there's a lot of them. But just some things I found out as I've been looking into this. I was trying to go back and forth if I wanted to do PSA, SGC. One of those two is where I want to stick with. And still kind of up in the air, but I think I'm just going to do a combination of both. Talk to some other people in the text group, some other people from YouTube, and recommendation was just go with the best deal you can find. A lot of them you can actually find cheap raw online, but then you got all the concerns of authenticity because these cards were counterfeited a lot. And so far, the one you see in front of you, the Jerry Don Gleaton, was not one of my favorite Tigers back in the day because never pitched very well, at least from what I can remember. But anyway, it was the cheapest one. I think I paid like $13 for this, or 14. Wasn't much. PSA 7. And one of the things that I've learned about 91 Topps, even previously looking into the Desert Shield, is I picked up these two Travis Frymans as well, and they're both Desert Shield. I bought one and forgot I bought it, so I bought another one not long after. Let's get them in the screen here real quick. And but you buy them raw. I think I paid $1.50 or $2 each for these. But if you look on the back of series, this being series 1, I think, or at least the low numbered cards anyway, you can hardly see the Topps logo. It's in here behind the stats, but it's their 40-year anniversary logo. And it's much harder to see. But if you look at the higher number cards, it just pops right out at you. That Topps 40-year logo, which I think is super cool. I've always liked it. And in looking into this as to why, somebody actually on this text group mentioned it to me, and I had actually read about it a few months ago. But these background 40-year anniversary, they do fluoresce, and also the border itself of the cards with a black light will fluoresce. And I actually just held these all underneath the black light, and that 40-year and the border on here really pop quite well under a black light. Both of the Frymans, they did as well. So I'm not too concerned about them. And there's some other things you can look at in regards to the actual Desert Shield logo, as to the bottom should be more, if you can see it there, it's more flat. It's slightly rounded, but more flat. If they're more rounded, that's usually a sign that they're counterfeit. And then the lowest palm tree leaf or branch should be between the A and the R, I believe it is, of operation. And then there's some issues with the stars on the flags, on the flag, whether they're more dots or very obvious dots, for the representing the stars. There's many different variations of fakes and real ones. So what I decided is I'm just going to buy graded in general, whether it's PSA, SGC. There's not a whole lot of SGC graded of the Tiger ones out there. But I'll continue to look, and there's other things that I'll show you whether they're fake or not. There's about 4 or 5 different variations, and I think the best thing to do is just buy it and grade it already to verify that it's authentic. I'll probably send in both of those Frymans just to see if they do come back authentic, because I'm curious. Now, before I bought that Jerry Don Gleaton in front of you, I bought this Jerry Don Gleaton as well. But this is more of a mishap for me, where I put something on the counter and went outside to do a quick thing outside. Took me about 2 minutes, and of course I found two other quick things that take about 5 minutes, and I come back into this. Of course I won't focus now, but my wonderful dog got a hold of it. He's got a habit in the last 2-3 weeks of taking mail off the counter. So needless to say, I wasn't happy. Luckily I only paid about $4 for it, but I was not happy. So, but yeah, so keep your cards off the counter, I guess. And let's move this one out of the way. Maybe I'll help with focusing. Here's the Alan Trammell Raw, the All-Star. Everything I can tell, except for the fluorescing on the back, I'm a little concerned if this one's authentic or not. I've actually had this card in my collection since I was probably 14 years old. Bought it from a friend of mine who owns a card store. And had it ever since. I'm sure, I'm 100% sure he did not know that if this is fraudulent, that I'm sure he didn't know, and I do not blame him whatsoever. But I'm going to send it in. I'll see if SGC grades it. The logo on the front to me appears to be all real. It's just I noticed on the back it didn't really fluoresce as well as some of the other ones on the border. And then you'll see that this one does not have the Topps logo, but the All-Star cards do not. So I'm not too concerned about that itself. It was just the lack of fluorescing on the border. So we'll see. It's been in my collection for a long time, so I sure hope it's real. And keep the cards away from your dogs, I guess. Talk to you later.